Hey guys, Steve here. Thanks for watching, and I'm going to start a little series on alcohol stoves and different fuels for them, how quickly they boil water. Kind of fun stuff to do. We're going to check it out. I got a nice chef alarm temperature probe and timer. I'll show you that in a minute as we start the experiment. Right for today, I'm going to start with just these two different types of stoves. I have the Fancy Feast. I'm going to call this the standard Fancy Feast stove. And then I've got one that has a tomato paste can insert with a carbon felt liner. So going to see which of these boils water faster. I'm going to use my Stanley Adventure Camp Cook set and 2 cups of water. Should be fun. Hang in there and stay tuned. I'll be right back. All right, here we go. We're getting ready to get started. So I'm going to start off with the carbon felt lined Fancy Feast alcohol stove, and I'm using denatured alcohol. And you know what? I'm going to check out different types of fuel too. I'm going to use the heats. I'm going to do an isopropyl alcohol, and I'm also going to fiddle with like a Bacardi 151. Just for sake of trying things out to see which one burns it the best. It's kind of fun to do. So let's get started. One thing I noticed right off the bat with this type of stove, the carbon felt stove, is, boy, it ignites super fast. It's very easy to get it going. There's really no wait time, you know, for it to blossom. So that's really neat. Ooh, we're going to start. All right, the other thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to get kind of super scientific here with this. I don't know how super scientific, but as long as I don't light this on fire, I'll just show you that real quick. So I'm going to keep a record of, you know, what temperature it started at, and how long, or rather, what the temperature is going to be at each minute. So I'm not going to bore you with having to watch all of that, but should be fun to see how quickly this will boil. My guess is it's going to do it in about 6 minutes. All right, so we're getting a lot of movement in there, even at 206 degrees. Some people might consider that boiling, but it really isn't. It's really rolling now, and again, still isn't really at the 212, although I'm at the mercy of the accuracy of this probe. I'd be happy with that. There we go. 646. So pretty neat. And I'm going to try it now with this can, or this type of stove rather. Same type of fuel, same beginning water temp, all that good stuff. So I'll be right back. All right, we're back. And I'm going to start this other stove. I'm using just about an ounce of denatured alcohol in both of these stoves, and I found that, you know, these are some pretty good conditions right here. Obviously, there's zero wind. We're in a controlled environment, so I can't say that you know, an ounce is going to boil your water every time, depending on your starting temps, etc. But what I found that it does, an ounce does a pretty darn good job even when I'm out on the trail. So let's get this going. And I'm going to give it a minute here to bloom a little bit. When that alcohol gets heated up, it starts to vaporize, and the main difference between these two stoves is just the obviously the pot stand on this one allows the flame to escape a lot easier than this other style stove. So if I put the pot right directly on top, it tends to snuff it out. So I want to certainly give it a great chance to get going, get that fuel heated up so that it will escape out of these side jets or side openings. And that's another thing that I'm going to tinker around with too, is the number of holes around the can, the size of the holes, all that stuff, just to see what kind of difference we can make to make these stoves even more efficient. So anyway, I think I'm going to give it a shot. Let me clear this out. And again, we're starting at relatively the same temp. And here we go. And what I found with the other one, and I'll share this data with you, what I found with the other stove, the one with the liner, is it tended to raise the temperature by 25 degrees every minute. So I'd be curious to see how well this one can do it. So again, we started at 63. We're about halfway through. We've only raised it about 11 degrees so far. So from first glance, it appears that our first try was going to be more efficient, but we'll see. All right, that's pretty interesting. So both minute one on both different stoves resulted in the same temperature rise. Pretty darn close. Now this is very interesting. All right, we're at about 102. Stove number one was at 110 at this point. So I think we can see where this is headed. But still, let's run the experiment all the way through. And that was very interesting. At minute 3 on stove 1, we were at 135 degrees. On this one, we are 133, so it caught up. That's very interesting. Curious how it did that. All right, here we are getting close again. We're at 204 degrees at 6 minutes, 20 seconds. All right, so 7 minutes and 17 seconds, although I think somewhere around the 650 mark, it really was boiling pretty rapidly. But so there you have it. I mean, for all intents and purposes, no appreciable difference between these two stoves. I'll tell you that the one difference between these two stoves is the costs in which to make them and the time in which to make them. So obviously this guy is super simple. All this is a cat food can and a hole punch, and you can make it in under 2-3 minutes. A hole punch and a cat food can. So that's super simple. This one a little more complicated, a little more money. We had to get a tomato paste can and some carbon felt. So, and that carbon felt really wasn't cheap. You can find it at any, Home Depot, Lowe's, what have you, in the plumbing aisle. It's basically called like a soldering blanket. So it can withstand up to, I think it's 2,500 degrees Fahrenheit. But you just you cut it into a little strip and pack it in there between the cat food can and the tomato paste can. So I think I spent about $17 on a cloth. I'll show it to you real quick. Fairly big. Back here, I'd say it's about the size of a sheet of paper, maybe like an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So I could probably build, realistically, I bet you I could build a dozen of this style of stove with it. So if you get some buddies who want to get in together on it with you, you could build these, certainly for less money than I did. One distinct advantage that this one had, I felt, over this style can is it was super easy to ignite it, and you can set the pot on it immediately. It doesn't take any time to bloom whatsoever. You won't snuff the flame out. So I guess, I mean, for my money, this might be the stove of choice right now. So anyway, stay tuned. I'm going to do other stuff. We'll fiddle around with other fuels, and you know what I might do is I might look at putting a row of holes on the tomato paste can on this guy, just to see if it makes it any more efficient or boils water any faster. Should be fun. So stay tuned. I'll probably shoot that video out in a little bit. But anyway, subscribe, check out my Facebook page, give me some love there, give me some likes, that'd be great. And if you get a stove you want me to try out, or any ideas on how to improve, love to hear them. So take care.